on a warm Thursday evening.
The podcaster, starring Podley Rogers.
My hair looks big.
Adam, I changed my mind. You can edit this one.
No, you got it. We're all gonna die.
Oh, you mean like right now?
Yeah.
Oh. Hey everyone, and welcome to The Inside, a podcast where we get into the extraordinary minds and experiences of everyday people, except for Adam.
Hey.
I'm Jay, and with me as always is Adam.
Hey, what's going on, man?
How's it going, man? What are you doing these days?
So the big project recently has been trying to set up my home theater system.
That's so 80s.
Exactly. Well, no, it's a new one. It's got all these buttons and stuff. I'm trying to figure it out because you got to take the soundbar and Bluetooth it to the TV, but the TV has to be able to cast to your phone. Your phone needs to be paired with the receiver, and then the receiver needs one of those SDI cables, which you got to get an SD card for. But then you need a converter to get that back to my Bluetooth soundbar, and so the whole thing is all run off the software hub app. So y'all got to get that. You got to get that all figured out before you set up the wireless connection. Does that make sense?
And then it's seamless after that?
Yeah, after that, it's just simple going. Only 10 buttons to start up the sequence.
Man, I think you should stick with that 80s home theater system. But, you're a young guy, so, that you just grew up with that stuff. It makes sense. It makes sense to you.
Second nature.
But, really, I think if I didn't work with college students, I would not really know what you're talking about, because now I'm really just forced to get into all of this new technology and like the internet,
yeah,
because I don't know, the stuff the kids are using now, like the Napster and the MySpace, and I really like digging. I like hitting up people on my AOL, IM.
It's the instant messaging software.
Yeah. And then when that guy is he always tells me I have mail and stuff. That's so cool. I don't know. I would never be able to do all that stuff now, because I'm just doing what the kids are doing.
Exactly.
But I don't know. It's got to be hard to be behind the times at times. Does that make sense?
I guess. Some of his references, you're starting to sound like Mo. That one time he had all those tech issues when we were about to record.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Right. But he usually has no trouble. But it took him.
Yeah, it was a one-time thing.
Yeah. It took him 30 minutes or something to
connect the audio.
To connect his one earbud to the audio. And he was such a good sport about it, and we the three of us just laughed so much about it.
So Jay, how about this? Let's go hear a word from our fake commercial, and then give everyone a listen to the latest installment of the Mo Files.
Mo Files. Let's do it. Hey Adam, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, Jay, just sitting out here on my porch thinking about my next purple spatula shipment.
Oh, is that one of those a meal in a box delivery companies?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that kind of market is really expanding a lot.
Into what?
Well, just recently, from our friend Uncle Mo, I heard that there's going to be food truck in a box, and he came up with that. It's everything that you need to have, your very own food trucks, but it comes in a box each month. So by the end of the year, you have a complete functional food truck ready to serve up some grub.
Wouldn't that make it like a grub truck, though?
Oh God, shut up, Adam.
Regardless, this sounds really expensive.
Oh no, it's easy. It's just 12 easy monthly payments, and they're just $9,999 each. So after that, you can have your own food truck too.
It sounds so simple. Just look at these instructions that came from the box. Insert transaxle through transmission until front differential is locked, making sure to keep fluid away from body, keep flammables away from small children and pets. Wow, Jay. Anyone could do this.
Yeah, but don't take it from us. Let's hear from a real culinary master, Uncle Mo.
Hi.
It's not rocket science.
That's right, Mo. To get your food truck in a box, use the link in our Instagram. You'll be frustrated in no time. Order your food truck in a box today.
Hey Mo, welcome to the inside. How's it going?
Good. I heard somebody. You can still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, because I just heard somebody say disconnected. I don't know what it is. But you still hear me?
Yeah.
You still hear
Okay.
us?
Then let's start the show.
Okay. What people don't know is we spent 30 minutes
Getting
getting
the audio figured out. Tech support.
Oh, what a mess.
man.
What a mess.
Can you believe this is your third time? It's like we just did the first one not too long ago.
I know, and everything was like great and peachy. And since then, I've lost 9 people in 40 days. I
Oh,
became homeless, and not in a glamorous way. But my niece, who I have done it with, she's Uncle Mo, you'll never be homeless. You could be homeless, but you have so many people that want you to stay with them. And I always taught her about how our ego gets in the way. She said, yep, you need to get out of your ego. So I'm moving out of Newton Falls. And it was unfortunate without a whole bunch of details why I had to leave, but it had nothing to do with me personally.
okay, so let's
Like,
back up. Let's back up a minute. So you're leaving the place that you were living in, which I
yeah,
think it's okay to say because you said before was basically in somebody's garage, maybe like
yeah,
an apartment
garage.
in a garage.
No, wasn't an apartment. It was a pool hall, like a bar and a pool table,
Okay.
like a man cave kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that's perfect.
Yeah.
You're a man.
Oh yeah. I'm familiar with caves, but I don't like them because
Yeah.
I'm from Kentucky and I never went to the Mammoth Cave. I looked at them.
So you're leaving Newton Falls. Is that a story? Is there a story behind that?
You know what? It's too. I hate to say harsh, but I kept thinking about this all day at the ranch because I go to the ranch to chill myself out,
Mhm.
and Rockin' K Ranch where I work at because
That's where you punch the horses.
I don't really punch them. That was on a movie. That was a
Yeah.
movie.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a movie. But we're doing hay, so we got a bunch of people there working, and I realized that even though this is a dark moment, that I had to deal with a dark moment for X amount of months. I'm all right. Like I always get through it, and that's when you realize the faith. Because I always look at the uncomplicated kitchen lady, and it's always so nice to see her and to see her with kids and see her making up stuff that some of it I wouldn't eat, like the pork chops, but some of it I would, you know. But the idea that she is doing something that gives her passion.
Yeah.
So I haven't had that chance to be in a community again because it's so important to have community. I think, and I think that since my situation was unexpected in Newton Falls, and I actually had to leave. So I just look at the good stuff. Like I know I'm working on a food truck. I've been talking to people. I'm taking a class. I'm taking the kitchen manager class instead of the $10 online answer some questions you get and you know how to wash your hands. I'm taking the one where they need to hire somebody to keep their kitchen from closing down because of Purdue chickens or anybody's chickens that are bad because now they're doing a big recall.
So
It's good for me.
Yeah.
So where are you going to? Don't know. You're just kind of house jumping right now, or are you trying to get
Yeah,
back to Kent?
I'm going back to Kent, and that's another thing because it's all about forgiveness. It's all about people changing. And my friend Jack here says, a leopard never changes spots, and that's okay for that kind of attitude, thinking. But humans and people, and as you get older, you know what's good for you, and you know what's better for you. And I don't hate nobody. I don't like what people do, and but I posted this thing that Tupac said, and he says, even though we're not friends anymore, I'm not your enemy. I always want you to eat, but not at my table.
It's a good
You know,
saying.
and yeah, it's real good for me because uh, the situation in Newton Falls was like one of the saddest times of my life. Like it as an adult, like that gut wrenching, like how could this happen? Kind of unexpected stuff, you know. And
Mm.
and when other people call me to ask what's good, like, hey, how you doing? I saw things kind of rough, and one of my friends said, well, you need to pull it together. And I said, I got to go. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Which was the wrong thing to say. You need to pull it together. I'm 68 years old. I know when it's time to pull it together. But when you call me when I'm at the bottom of
Mm-hmm.
I'm on my belly, sad, and it's like, but I'm all right. Like I told my friend today at Rock and K Jack, I said, my whole world could be so much worse. You know, um, a- there's a lot of people that are homeless, and then there's a lot of people who would be homeless if they didn't have friends. To
Mm-hmm.
put them up for a little bit. Like my friend Jill and Paul, they like I didn't want to say what my situation was in Newton Falls, but they knew something was up, and I finally shared a little bit of it. And they said, "Look, you got a room. It's your room." I painted their whole house. I don't know how many times. And so it's like, if people get anything out of this podcast, it's about faith and getting through the hard times and realizing how important community is and realizing how important it is to forgive people. You know, like
Yeah.
even though it's just important. Boy, I hate to edit this today.
So we're wondering if we should be calling you Dr. Mo because um, my wife shared with me that you have helped you've helped birth you've helped birth some babies. And
Three.
yeah,
What?
what is that about? How does that happen? Like I'm 53 years old and I've never had that
Yeah, but
opportunity.
you're still young though. There's
I do, I do.
that's funny because I always make a joke to people that I'm not a real doctor, but I play one on TV. Because people, they're always calling me. And if you look on Instagram, you'll see a little video. I love them all, but the first kid, it was his graduation party. But I delivered him 21 years ago. And I used to tease him all the time. Like, I could have drowned you, and you lucky
Yeah.
I let you live. you know. And I got so tired, I gave your mom my watch. And I said, "Look, I need a little break. Just give me 5 minutes because I'm tired." And she like looked at me like, "You out of your mind?" But her water broke a couple days ahead of time, but it sealed back up, which is it happens. But people are
What?
always terrified about water breaking. But I
So
delivered him. He's my last one in
was
the
that
living
was
room.
that intentional? Was that like a plan, or you just happened to be there and it happened? You're like, all right, game's on.
Oh
Guess I'm
no,
helping.
that was a plan. We
Okay.
had a hospital plan. No, let's go to the hospital. We're ready. We had an emergency plan.
That's
Oh,
Mo.
call it. Yeah, and then we had a home plan, and
Oh,
we used the home plan.
all right.
I got there, and the midwife wasn't there yet, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a breeze." I wish I was still getting high.
Well, how did you get into that? Like, how do you
Yeah.
decide, like, I'm going to help three people have a baby?
Because my friend years ago got pregnant, and the guy split. He didn't want to have nothing to do with it, because that used to happen a lot with people. You
It still
pregnant?
does, I think.
Yeah. And so she and I took a class together. We took I don't know if it was a Lamaze class, birthing. It was some kind of class where
Hmm.
everybody was sitting around, with, Bob and Karen. And and there was a lot of single moms there. And my friend, we would do the movement like the instructor would tell us. And then she would kind of like, for a lack of words, pimp me out to these other women, and I would go and help them breathe and hold them. These strange women, but since I was there, I automatically became Mr. Safe. It wasn't like So that's what happened. I, her baby, we went. It was a hospital plan. She was she had contractions like 5 minutes apart. We got to the hospital. They raised up to 10 minutes apart. The doctor took a break, didn't take his beeper, and she was starting to rip. I grabbed the scalpel and I was getting ready to slice her. I'm glad I didn't, but I saw it on a movie. I watched the movie really good. But
Oh gosh.
since then, I've learned that sometimes it's good for them to rip. Instead of making that straight line, the rip helps it get back together. And the nurses said, "Oh, you're gonna make a great dad." I go, "Look, this is not my baby. This is my friend. And when my day comes, I will be a great dad." And then the baby was born. She said, "What was that?" I said, "Well, you pooped, but that's okay. It's a couple little turds." She said, and then the nurses said, "Oh, he's so beautiful." And my friend said, "Are they telling the truth?" I said, "No, they lying. He looked like a blue squirrel. Looked like you squeeze him out, and he looks like he's scary, like an alien." But I told her the truth. And then when they showed her, she said, "Woo!" And it was funny. That was my first one. But since then, I've become a lot more sensitive. The second one was Little Eddie. Or was Little Eddie the first one? Little Eddie's like 36, 37, married. And this kid had the biggest head in the world. When I put a glove on to see if because he was crowning.
Like a
You can't see.
basketball?
Can you see my finger? Can you
Nope.
see this?
Can you see it? If you
Yeah, I
The
can
listeners
see it.
can't.
now, I can.
Okay, so you make a finger.
Hey,
like
can
a
all
little
you guys
circle.
see it?
Yeah, everyone at home
Yeah.
listening.
So take your pointing finger, your index finger, make a circle.
Okay.
Y'all doing that? Okay, and that's how you see if the baby's crowning. You stick your hand in there, and you see how much of the head you feel. And it was pretty wild.
I'm starting
It
to
was pretty
regret
wild.
asking this question, Adam.
But that one was good though. But the baby, the midwife came and she was breastfeeding her own baby. I'm like, we got to get out of here because the baby was stuck. I said, so I had to carry this woman down the steps because it was in my house in
While she
Kent.
was crowning?
While she was crowning and while she had beefed up to have this baby. Like you're not supposed to beef up. She was so heavy, her husband couldn't carry her.
Oh.
So I had to carry her down, put her in this car, which I thought was cool. It was his car. And the car barely started. I had to drive with 2 feet to keep it going. And when I got to the hospital, the midwife said, "See ya, I'll call you later." The midwife didn't even go in. So that's when things were a little shaky. I don't know if she was a real midwife or she was something. The last one was Ravi. Ravi was cool. That was fun.
That's the one that you were
We
just
just had
talking
a party
about.
for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's my little nephew. He's a good kid. He graduated from OU. Now he's doing some kind of AmeriCorps something for a year. And he's smart. I said, what kind of doctor you want to be? He said, "I don't know." But he could be any kind of doctor, but he's doing some volunteer stuff and he does a lot of protesting. I said, "Well, be like an orthopedic surgeon because I know I'm gonna need surgery one day." But that's a different story.
Well, Mo, we got a whole string of questions for you. You ready?
Yes.
All right. So, Mo, if you were the host of the Inside Podcast, who would you bring on? And they can be alive or they could be someone from the past. And why would you pick them?
Oh, I love Gil Scott-Heron and Dick Gregory. Gil Scott-Heron, has a song like the Revolution Won't Be Televised. And I used to see him perform a lot at Kent State and around. And Dick Gregory was a black protesting comedian that drank a fifth of whiskey every day, weighed 300 something pounds. And one day he saw the light and became a vegetarian and did fasting every Friday. And every time he would come to Kent State, they would hire me because I had a catering service called Nature's Way Vegetarian Catering. I had a little business card with a big walk and steam coming out of it. And basically, he knew that I was a black-owned business that was, you know, selling good food, making good food. So most of the time, he just had juice. I get him organic juice, but his crew would eat. So I liked him. I liked him. I didn't like him using the N word a lot, but he just did, you know.
What do you think one of your bigger success stories is? Maybe that's more like a big lesson that you learned.
I think my sobriety is my big passion. You know, getting sober 36 years ago,
Yeah.
then becoming a vegetarian 49 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think that's, I don't want no statue. I don't want no, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I think those things I live with a passion. Because without my sobriety, I wouldn't have anything. You know, I wouldn't have the trust and the loyal friends that I had.
Hmm.
Like I had this friend named James, and we're always talking about me being sober and how it affected a lot of people that I don't realize. And sometimes I'll get a text from somebody saying they remember me from this and me helping them out. And when you're down and out, and you realize that you did make a difference in somebody, but you wouldn't have made that difference if you were still getting high.
Well, Mo, did you ever experience like any pressure from anyone or anywhere you went, like right after you became sober from people that you used to get high with and stuff like that?
Well, two things, Adam and Jay. The first thing was because I sold drugs, people continued to call me and to look for drugs. So it took 5 years of people bugging me to death till they finally realized there's no happenings here with Mo or Mario at the time. That's not happening.
Mario. That's right, Mario. Dried up.
The other thing was when situations happened, when I was under stress, I couldn't use drugs and alcohol to cull the pain. You know, I had to feel it. I had to actually feel everything. And that was something new. And that was a lot of pressure because I didn't like feeling that kind of pain.
Yeah, because
when I broke up with somebody, if I really dug them a lot, and I really didn't want to break up, but I knew it was best, I would get that high. It was on a scale. If I really dug you a lot, I'd just get chewed up. But if it wasn't just casual, it wasn't a big thing. Smoke a joint and I'm cool.
yeah, just a little chewed up.
Yeah, just a little chewed up.
Does your brain still go there for just like 10 seconds or something where you're like, oh man,
It goes there to get high.
yeah, like if I could just have this, that would help. And then you're like, but it goes away quickly.
It goes away quickly. Yeah, if it does come, because I won't have my life.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have me on here, even though this might be the last time. You wouldn't have me on if I was still getting high.
We might.
You know, because I'd be all grandiose. And the thing about getting sober and getting a life is getting rid of that ego. You know, being able to talk about your pain, being able to talk about your weaknesses and your mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. I still make them, but I'm not a mistake.
Well, Mo, like, I mean, you obviously grew up in a different time period than me. What was one of like back then, like the coolest or like something really meaningful that like happened to you or something you did growing up?
Most of my cool stuff was just hooking up with people I thought I would never hook up with.
Who was one of the coolest people you linked up with?
Wow, that's a good one. Are they still alive?
Doesn't matter.
You
Well,
know
it does.
It
but like-
matters
Yeah,
to
it does matter.
matters to
Well,
me.
that's what I meant. Yeah.
And their
Yeah,
family.
it
And
matters to me.
No, that's really like it's just like you can still say it if
so
you're not.
cruel.
Gosh.
Yeah, he is a little heartless.
Like, I don't
That
care.
half an hour of high tech blew him up, didn't it?
Like 20 years
Man.
from now, they're gonna be like, "Hey, Mo died today." And he's like, "Doesn't matter."
It doesn't matter.
I don't
He
need
was
this.
old. Maybe they buried his.
No, you knew what I
Earphones.
meant, okay?
Doesn't matter.
You know what? I don't have anybody that. My Aunt Louise was amazing. My Aunt Louise wasn't my biological aunt. she was just somebody that my family, my mom and dad let me hang out with. And she was real special. And I like diesels because of her. She was she was an old black woman when she died. And she was in the army. She was in Paris. She learned how to do cosmetology. She drove a stick, old Willie's Jeep. That's how she learned how to drive. And she just talked to me and listened to me. So she made a big difference in my life to who I am and how I treat people. And my friend Mike, the reason why I have dreadlocks, Mike Freeman was like my motorcycle buddy. I've never met anybody like him. When he was in high school, he wasn't doing good. So I went to his high school, took him out of school, signed him out, told his mom and dad that he's coming to live with me in Kent. And he was getting good grades and but my roommates got busted. So, and then the cops find out that he was living with two dealers, because I didn't get busted, they got busted. and so I would take him to Cleveland a couple times a week to go to night school. He graduated, he went to the service, and it was great. He got murdered, and it changed my world.
When was Mike killed, and was there some justice with that?
No justice. He was murdered in Atlanta. They didn't even investigate.
I was gonna ask you about somebody else who seems to be kind of meaningful in your life, and that is Dr. Dina. Tell us about her.
She's an amazing, humble person. And she has her own demons in her life, and she shared them with me so I could grow.
So she's a medical doctor and a banjo maker, right?
Yep, she's a medical doctor. She makes house calls. She makes traditional African banjos out of gourds. And she has a company called, a nonprofit agency called Imani Works.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ever talk to her, you would just be amazed. I haven't talked to her in a while. We text, but I know that when I talk to her, I have to give her everything. It's hard sometimes to burden people who and it's really not a burden, because my friends do it to me and I want them to. Because when you share your pain, it's half of it's gone or part of it's gone.
Yeah.
I'm ready now, because I don't know where I'm going to be, and so I just got to keep my head up and stay positive.
Yeah.
We all get those demons sometimes, and they wear you out. I almost was going to tell you I couldn't do this.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend James said, you got to do it, because he said, everybody sees you happy. You tell everybody everything's okay. And it's not that way. He says, I don't know how you do it. Like, I've worked 12 hours the last 3 days. I've worked, but it keeps me going to get stuff done. Jen, she knows how I am. She was another big person in my life that helped me to be a better me. All the people that are my friends help me be a better me.
Yeah.
And when people take from you and you don't feel good after you see them, then it's time to move on.
Yeah. Well, and we want everyone to be a better me. So, like, if you had like 10 million, if someone gave you $10 million to start up whatever nonprofit you want to make themselves a better me, what would you use it for?
Oh, that's easy. I think about that all the time. I get some land and I would feed everybody. I would I would take care of people needs. A lot of people don't have basic needs.
Right.
With $10 million, there's a lot of people could use that money to do stuff in their community. I mean, once I get the food truck, which I don't know whenever it's I'm taking this class I was telling you about, so I can rent a kitchen to make pea pies, because I would feed everybody. You know, I would just, everybody just needs to be loved. And, you know, I watched this guy, I don't know what he's called, but he's a barber. He cuts hair for the homeless.
Okay.
And it's just so nice because giving somebody a fresh cut and touching them, I mean, he wears gloves, you know, homeless people don't get touched. You know, it's like kids with disabilities, they don't get touched and hugged.
Yeah.
Because everybody's afraid to, you know, it's like, I would do that. I'd have the coolest 1,000 acres of homes and a big mess hall to feed people and rehab, because we need that now. We need that more than ever. But I'm going to get a crew. I'm going to get somebody. Like, I know how to talk to people and I know how to make the money. I just need to know how to, I need more business sense. I need to like pow, pow, pow. And my friend Steve, who passed away, where I got the food truck, he knows I took business classes that he taught. And our dream was I do all the cooking and he would manage the books and keep us going, you know? And he died. He died unexpectedly. You know, you need somebody that could run races. You give him a shirt and Adam could run all the races with a pea pie shirt on. You could sponsor him.
I'll do it for free. You just give me a pea pie shirt, I'll wear it everywhere.
Look at Jay's face. Jay said, what about me? I want a shirt.
I have one.
You got a lot of anger. Hey, Adam. He's got a lot of anger.
I know.
Shut up, man.
I told him to get out of control for years now.
All right. Are you needing funds to make more, or I guess you need to?
Yeah, I need to start over again, but I need to start with my attorney and a crew.
Yeah.
Some money that somebody else controls, and that I'm not going to trust. If somebody says, "Oh, we can double that, and you can do this," nah.
Let us know how we can help, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's a really great dream. You know, I love that. What in this world right now? Because there's some messed up stuff going on. You know, but is there anything that's going on like where you feel hope from that, or that creates hope for you?
You know, during the virus and all the racial stuff and the transgender, all this stuff is popping now. It's like,
it really is.
It's popping all over. What I see through all this is that there are some good people who are trying to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And I see it. The people you could tell that are making an effort to be nice. You know, I was power washing this guy's driveway and a car went by and the guy waved at me. Then about an hour later, he got out of his car to talk to me about what I was doing and this piece of equipment I had. And I said, it works really good. I love it. You can buy them here, da, 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 da. And I showed him, I told him everything about it. So, because he's probably a homeowner and he probably has seen it. But I knew that he made an effort to get out in this lily white neighborhood that I was working at, to get out and talk to this big old black guy with a raggedy pickup truck sitting out front. Or when you go someplace shopping and somebody goes, oh, you only have 2 items once you get up here. I said, oh, I'm not in a hurry. I'm kind of resting. And they go, really? I go, yeah, it's been a long day. And standing here is nice, but I appreciate it, you know? And then they come up, then everybody starts talking and the line next to you talks. And that is something I haven't seen in a long, long time, you know? Is people just stop being judgmental. Stop thinking that I'm a bad guy and I'm scary and I'm going to rob you. You know, I'm just a guy that likes to be loved and, you know, and when all that's gone, and hopefully it'll go away while we're here, but it won't. But we can all make a difference. If we make a difference, then we can go out in the world and make a difference. Yeah. But if we just talk about it and still we're locking our door every time somebody of color walks across the street in front of you and the door clicks, you know, that ain't nothing. That's stupid, you know. But I did that one time. I got this Camry and they had automatic locks, and this white couple with a little baby carriage, another little kid, were walking in front of me, crossing the red light, and I hit the door locks, pow, And for some reason they were loud. Pow! And they looked up at me and I threw my hands up. I'm like, sorry. You know? It was like so cool to be able to do that. But I knew it was wrong, but it just felt fun because they looked at me like, why are you afraid of us? Like, why are you afraid of me? You know? And so we have to keep making a difference. You know, money's important and all that stuff's important, but true friends, loyal friends, and honesty, this whole Newton Falls moving thing, I almost lost faith. You know what I mean? I almost lost faith. And I don't hate the people at all, but it just broke me in half. That's how sad it was, you know? And now you just keep going. And you stay away from the people that are always draining you. There's people either they're trying to suck all your good energy out or they're trying to impregnate you with negativity. You got to stay away from them.
No, just kind of going off what you just said. What's one way you think we can all just get a little closer together, even with these crazy times we're living in?
Oh, that's pretty simple. It's all about loving people. It's all about being able to disagree with somebody and still be cool with them. You know, it's about talking. It's about loving yourself first, so you know who you are, so you aren't outside perpetrate. You know, you guys go to church and you do stuff at the church, but you got to do that 24/7. You got to believe and you got to love people. You can't, you know, and we all make mistakes. We're born in a racist world. You know, the poor people always get beat on, no matter where you are. But I just happen to live in the United States, and I know how it was for my father and his father and everybody. But you got to keep on pushing. You got to keep going. And when somebody hates, you just look at them like, man, you sure are wasting all your energy. What do they say? It's not rocket science.
I don't know. It seems like a big ask to say, hi, how are you doing to people when you pass them by?
Yeah. This guy,
I'm kidding,
who I was doing his driveway, he happened to be black. And he says, I've known you for years. I've known of you. And I go, he said, because you always spoke to me. And he said, it's something so weird about, we won't pick the neighborhoods, but in certain neighborhoods, the black people don't speak to each other. But in other ones, they're always going, hey, well, how you doing? When I was in Newton Falls, when I saw a black person, it was like we were cousins. Whoa, what's up, man? Where you stay? You know, it was just like so amazing. I blow my horn, they wave, and you know, because it was far and few and in between, or something like that. What I'm saying.
There's just the two of you, right?
Yeah, just the two of us, yeah. You know, but it was more. But you knew where they lived, and they knew your truck, they knew your little Volkswagen, and it just makes a difference.
I think some of this, like we were talking about earlier, like all this heavy stuff that's gone on with Black Lives Matter and pandemic and awareness of, you know, gender and sexuality stuff that's going on. And it's like, it's really raising a lot of awareness, right? And that's a great place to start, because then a lot of conversations start to happen about these things that we just keep sweeping under the rug and everything. And I think it opens up the possibility for people really starting to love and care for people who are different than we are. Just because you're different doesn't mean you're worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Because there's just so much hate and anger. And I just don't want to be around it. I got to keep going. I got to keep pushing. I got to keep pushing myself. And I'm going to get there. Because I have faith. I know I'm not the end of all ends. I know there's a higher power. I know there's a God. I know that the Creator is looking out for me. I just got to ask for help and guidance and forgiveness.
Obviously, you make a great impression wherever you go, and no matter where you move, if it's to Kent or Newton Falls, like you build an awesome community around you. But if you could move anywhere in the world, where would it be?
For the longest time, I wanted to move to Eugene, Oregon, because I have a really good friend there. But now I don't have a spot.
I think that's okay though, right? Like I was walking with Autumn the other day,
His
and
daughter.
yeah, and
Girl.
she said, I think we just take for granted where we live because people always come here and like vacation here in the mountains, and they're just like, oh my God, this place is so beautiful and stuff. But we're just here every day and we just don't really think about how great it is. But right now, I'm thinking about how great this place is, and
Yeah.
and part of that is the natural beauty, but part of that is just the community we've built here. And like you've built pretty amazing community in Kent, and so maybe that's your place, and it's still okay to want to go see all these places. Like there's a ton of places I want to go see, but like I just always want to come back here.
Yeah, having a home base is nice. I used to go to Mount Vernon for two different reasons: to speak to the future nurses who were graduating to be nurses, and go there to put a face on alcoholism and drug addict, put a different face on it. This one kid, when I talked about my world and stuff, she talked about her father being homeless and how people, he lost his job and just a whole lot of things that happened that were really out of his control. And then he took the drugs and alcohol, and she would go visit him in the streets, and that's why she wanted to be a nurse.
Mm.
And then the next time I saw her, her father had died. And man, it was so sad. But it made me think about just the small things we could do to make life better for somebody else. If we're always trying to make money and always trying to buy new cars, the best shoes, the best this and all that, and that's all you think about, man, that's a funky way to be. When you make a mistake, apologize for it. It's the biggest sadness when people do stuff and they don't, they say it's manning up, but it's human up. You make a mistake, you apologize for it, because when you make a big mistake, it affects everyone. Human up. You better human up.
That's I always talk about making T-shirts with people's faces on it. So if I made one with your face on it, it would say "human up" underneath it.
Human up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mo, we got a lighthearted speed round to finish off the episode for you tonight. So we're gonna ask you a couple questions, this or that, and you got to answer as quick as you can. All right. Alrighty. A horse or a tractor?
Horse.
Alrighty.
Biodiesel or electric car?
Oh, biodiesel.
Woo! Alrighty. Would you rather go to the movies or go play mini golf?
The movies. I love the movies.
Extra hour of sleep in the morning, or do you get up before the alarm?
I get up before the alarm.
Yeah.
Horrible.
And then brownies or the thing that makes everyone happy, ice cream.
You said brownies or ice cream?
Yeah.
Ice cream.
Yeah.
Good answer.
I love brownies. Is there another question? Did I mess it up?
No, that's all we got for you today. Thanks for coming on the show today, Mo.
Well, I hope I get to come back again. I know it was a dark day in Alcatraz, wasn't it?
As soon as after we got the technology sorted out, we were in good shape.
Look at Jay's face. Jay's so serious. Jay said, "Mo, you blew it."
I was thinking, don't even try to use those headphones right now.
All right, Mo, we'll catch you later. Thanks again for everything today, man.
Yeah, Mo.
Okay, y'all work on your technology. I love you both.
Love you. Bye.
When I said hi.
Oh, we messed it all up.
Dude, I don't think it'd be possible, but he topped his previous interviews in my mind. I mean, I was just staggered about some of these opportunities he had. Like, if someone came up to me and was like, "Hey, do you want to help birth a baby?" I'd be like, "What?" And then on top of that, after you help deliver it, what?
I think you'd be more like, no.
Yeah. But if I did say yes and I did deliver this baby, I don't know if I'd have the guts to be like, "Hey, it looks like a squirrel," or whatever he said with that. But on a little more serious note, I am proud of him that he mentioned he handles his emotions now. He thinks through them, and he doesn't just kind of use substances to kind of take that pain away. Like he just processes through it, which is it's a hard thing to do, and I really respect him for that. It takes a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I kind of going back to the intro, and just his kind of the problems we had getting started on this interview.
Yeah.
I do remember him saying, like he wanted a lot more people to hear the interviews, but he kind of had trouble figuring out how to share it the best. So if you're listening and you liked it and you want people to hear Mo, please share this.
On your social.
Yeah.
Or email.
Or through your AOL
Instant Messenger.
Yeah, man, that's what all the kids are doing. But yeah, the thing I always appreciate about Mo is he's willing to have conversation or share stuff that is like hard to share, or a lot of folks like wouldn't share, or they pretend like that's not happening in their life, but he finds a lot of value in sharing those kind of things because I think it's helpful to him, but I think also it helps give permission to make it okay, to just talk about like real life stuff. So,
yeah. But you think that wraps it up for today, man?
Yeah, Adam, I think I'm done here.
Alrighty, well, that was the inside. Do you know someone you think that should be on the inside? Shoot us an email with your suggestions. Again, Mo's Instagram is @Drake_Maurice. So special thanks to our 3-time guest, Mo, who we are super glad he still puts up with us. And as always, our producer, Dave. If you enjoyed that episode, make sure to give it a share on social media. Because again, Mo wanted to share it, but didn't know how. And we're looking for you guys to help us out. The show is written, recorded, edited, and co-produced by Jay and myself. Our title music, Crossroads, was written by Rock Sounds, and we will have a link in the show description for that. Our title music was performed by Keith Richards. We'll have more episodes coming soon, so make sure to listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at The Inside Podcasters, or shoot us an email at theinsidepodcasters@gmail.com.
You still there?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Only in one ear, but that's okay. These little things work.
Yeah, don't mess with it. Quit messing with it. I see you messing with it.
I ain't gonna do nothing to him at all.
I want to see your hands like this the whole interview.
Quit fiddling with it.
Fiddler.
Okay.
Oh, so we might have to do the whole thing over again.
No.
No.
Oh, I don't mind.
No.
No.
What was the question?